before saying asshole things.
All right, well, I started it because I've got 5 minutes and I just wanted to see, like, you know, wanted to just let people have time to come in or whatever. Hi! I'm just giving everybody an opportunity to come on in to my first live show. So excited. So excited to have you. Hey. Hey, Crossover Bunch Show and Drew and Amani and Charlene and Natalie and Melissa and Deborah and KB27 Scratch Guy. John, hey John, hey Ashley, hi Drew. Dumb Thotty, love it, love the name. Hi, let's see. Lil One, Julian, Ellipticus. I love you guys too. So we got about 4 minutes, so I'm actually going to start the show. And tonight's discussion will be, I'm going to pick a random amount of questions. I'm going to answer, how many questions? 4. I'm going to answer 4 questions about, I guess, Big Brother. If any of you guys have 4 questions about Big Brother, you'll just ask it. And then I'm going to go into the show topic, which is what exactly is a pagan witch. And I'm going to talk all about that and how I became one and why. And you can ask questions about that too. So welcome. Hi, everybody. Hi. Let's see. Dana Bond, Zeta, Kathy. Hey. So excited to have you guys. Really pumped. I'm doing a little shameless self-promotion here and wearing my That's Cute, Real Cute shirt. Probably not going to wear it every time, but it actually, you know, the cool color worked really well with the lighting, which was making me look really red, which none of you needed to know, but I was trying to figure all this out. So let's see. Got 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Hold your questions about Big Brother until those 2 more minutes. Hi, Liz. Hi, Robert. Let's see. Mysteriously Kind. I'm so into that. Thanks for saying I look cute. Thanks for saying you love my hair. Your hair looks really cute, too. I can't actually see it, but... Let's see. 2 more minutes. All right. Aaron. Hey, Aaron. Thanks, Jay Santos. I'm one of my favorite people, too. Oh, you know what? I love glitter, and I've always loved glitter. Glitter is like fairy dust, and when you work in fairy communities and festivals, then you'd probably get used to glitter too, for sure. Everybody can hear me okay and everything like that? What's the unicorn's name? Well, I'll just go ahead and answer that since we have a minute. The unicorn doesn't have a name, but Chris did paint it for me because it was just a white unicorn. And thank you for letting me know that I sound okay. Good. Like I said, this is all new to me. This is my first show. Really excited about you guys tuning in. I should have a lava lamp. That's a great idea. I used to have a lava lamp like when I was younger. I should really get one. The bigger size shirts are coming out. We ordered them, so whenever we get them, they'll be made available on the website. We don't really want to put things up unless, I guess, they're ready. So, a salt lamp. Yes, a salt lamp would be great. I love you too. Oh, what's Alexa doing there? I'm not talking to you, girl. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. So excited to have you. Thanks for tuning in. It's really just amazing that people are even tuning in to see me. So that's really awesome. I love all of you guys. It's really cool to have you. Welcome to my little space where we're going to do shows regularly. I'm going to do a night show every night at 8 p.m. I'm going to start having guests next week. Next week's guest is going to be one of my best friends in the whole world. His name is Kenny. He is a professional cheerleading coach, and we've been friends since middle school. So that'll be a lot of fun. Kenny's got crazy stories about me. I may have to tell him what he can say or what he can't say, but it'll be a lot of fun to have him on here next week. And then the week after that is my homegirl, Ashley Lomax. And she's fantastic. She does VIP tours for major artists. And so we can get to hear about all her travels and what's that like running VIP tours. And then after that, we'll see. I know that I really want to have some of my performance artist friends on the show. I really want to feature like, you know, just incredible, just give you a whole experience whenever you tune in, both. So anyway, I'm going to go look over here and see what the 4 Big Brother related questions are before we move forward. And then you can ask me any questions you like on the topic of today's show. So let's see. See this one? You're asking me stuff I can't even talk about. What's the whole process before entering the Big Brother house like? I can't tell you that. It's a big secret. So just know that the whole experience is mind-blowing. I'm going to, I should have Scotty as a guest sometime. I would love to have Scotty just come visit us. We love Scotty in this house. We love all the Big Brother house guests, but we love Scotty. Scotty is great. Let's see. What did the Big Brother house feel like? It felt like, you know, it felt like you're wearing a weighted vest. And it was just really, really, really stressful. And like, even when you lost or whatever, every single person I talked to that was evicted from the house had the same feeling. It felt like a weight was lifted off of their chest. That amount of stress is just, it's unreal. And there's no distractions from the paranoia and the absolute just craziness that goes on, and constantly seeing people like talking, and are they talking about you, and why are those people hanging out, and all of that. So it really felt very stressful and unlike any other stress that I had ever dealt with, because normally I have outlets to release my stress: quiet meditation, going outside, listening to music. You don't have any of that. Let's see. Great question. It is super stressful to be on the block. You really feel like you're gonna die. Like, it's because you're so trapped in that space and in that mind frame of like, the end game is to get to the final 2 and to win that money, whether you're winning 50K or 500K. And if you don't make it there, then it's like you're on death row. Like, you're about to just, I mean, you're meeting the executioner. That's what it feels like. But I mean, obviously that's not reality. But when you're so trapped with no distractions whatsoever, that's absolutely the feeling that you get. Let's see. Let's see. What's the hardest part of being a have-not? I found the hardest part of being a have-not to be the slop. The slop could be made to be rather tasty. You can make, we figured out like a risotto type slop, which I really appreciated. It was tasty. It was good. I didn't really like the sweeter slop combinations, but you can't eat anything else. And for me, like, vegetables and fruit are life. So that was very difficult and challenging to not be able to eat any of that. Let's see. So I think we're up to what? One more question? One more Big Brother question? Did I ever want to win the buyback and go back in? I did. I did try my best. I also decided before going in to the jury battle back competition that I was going to have fun. That being in the Big Brother house, it was almost that I forgot to have fun because I was so obsessed with winning this money for my family. And it was such a, like, I have to do whatever it takes to be able to bring this money home to my family, and I cannot give up and I cannot have it and not work out. That when I went to the jury house and I was like, man, a lot of the time I forgot to have fun while being in there. And I mean, I definitely did have some fun, but I felt like during the competitions, I was always so stressed out. So I said to myself, going into this jury battle back, I'm absolutely going to go in and have a great time, no matter what. Like, if it's hard, if it's not hard, I'm going to go have fun. And let's see, let's do one more. Let's see. How do I even go? Oh, I figured out how to go up. So let me go back. Did I ever get paranoid that the hive was turning against me? Sure. I mean, I think the name of the hive's game was paranoia. We always were kind of like, what are you doing? Why are you talking to that person? Who are you with? And I think that had we trusted each other better, I mean, certainly there were things that didn't make us want to trust each other. There were flip votes. There was a back door, just things that happened that we were like, I guess we can't trust each other. So certainly I didn't really think they were turning against me, but I definitely doomsdayed a bit. All right. So we did all the Big Brother questions, and now I'm going to tell you what a pagan witch is, how I became one, why I am one. Already just going to go into it. So I was born Jewish. In the Jewish faith, you are what your mother is. So from my mother's side of the family, her mother was Jewish. Her mother before that was Jewish. We came from Hungary. We were apparently Hungarian Gypsy Jews. We came over in World War II, somehow escaped the Nazis, which is really incredible. And they came here and they moved to New York. So I was raised Jewish. My biological father was Lutheran, and my mom wasn't exactly raised Jewish. We just kept to the traditions, the food, the high holidays, the culture, but we never went to synagogue. I never went to shul or anything like that. She really wanted me to have a religion. And so I was, as a baby, baptized Lutheran. And when my mom and dad divorced, then we moved up here to Maryland and we lived with my grandmother. And my mom was like, well, I'm going to find a church. I think a church is a good place, community. We can sing in the choir, all of that. And I was like, yeah, they were Hungarian Jews. Oh, you're saying that your grandmother came from Hungary. That's wonderful. I thought you were saying that mine wasn't Jewish. I was like, no, she was. Anyway, sorry about that. So we started going to this Lutheran church. I was 8. Okay. At the same time that I was 8, I was in 3rd grade. And in 3rd grade, we had a Greek mythology unit. So I was in Sunday school, and unlike a lot of people, I spent time in the church without parental supervision. Exactly. Me and my best girlfriend, Alex, when we were like 8 until really high school, we kind of ran amok in this church because every Thursday night was choir practice. And we would have kids choir before, and then we would have adult choir. And while the adults were in choir, we were just able to just go throughout the church. This is an old church too. St. Paul's Lutheran. It's like, I want to say over 200 years old. And we would go play in the cemetery. We would go into the library, and we would read anything that we could get our hands on. Like, we knew that church, those grounds, that history, that religion like the back of our hands. So back to the Greek mythology unit. There was a Greek mythology unit, and I was like, oh, gods and goddesses. Like, well, what happened to them? And it was like, oh, well, that's mythology. And I said, that's strange, because they were worshipped, but now they're mythology, but now there's this whole religion that is not mythology, is absolute truth. So I started asking a lot of questions in Sunday school, and I would raise my hand and I would say, excuse me, like, is God a woman? And the answers I would get would be, no, God's not a woman. It's written here in the Bible. He's a man. Okay. All right. But, you know, I mean, women create life. And I mean, even so, like at 12, I really started to research into things. This was when AOL was first out. I started typing, you know, into old religions and things. And I would ask other questions in Sunday school. Excuse me, are fairies real? No, fairies aren't real. Well, you're telling me angels are real. I mean, couldn't they be cousins? And no, because in the Bible here, it says that's not real. So through my research into all the different types of religions, I found out that the first monotheistic religion, which means having one God, was actually the Zoroastrians. And they were a tribe of fire worshipers. And they believed that there was this fire god. And of course, you know, if there's one all good God, then there has to be a bad God. Before that, all the gods and goddesses had the same characteristics of human. They could be a little bit, you know, they were gods and they were divine, but they could be a little bit mischievous. They could be sexy. They could be smart. They were more a mirror of us. So the Zoroastrians, they had their one good God, their one fire God. And actually, the Zoroastrians still exist today. Zoroasters, I think. I might be pronouncing that incorrectly. But the Muslim tribes and the Jewish tribes picked up on what the Zoroastrians were saying. And they were like, oh, one God? Yeah, bet. We're going to have one God too. So every war that was fought in history, they would take the gods of the old regime and totally demonize them and say, those gods are evil. This is our God now, even when there were multiple gods and goddesses before there was just the monotheistic religion. So they would go and say, your God that you're worshiping over there is actually horrible, devil, demon, worship our God now. Because religion has actually always been a method of control as well as a means to spiritual divinity. And the leaders, as they overtook different nations, would repeat this same kind of behavior. Anyway, through all this research, I was like, whoa. So even when I was 12, I was like, I need to know exactly what the roots of religion are. What were the first things that people were worshiping? What's the closest I can get to God or goddess or divinity? How do I get to find that first religion? And, you know, for Christianity, which I absolutely admire, adore, I feel very inspired by the way anybody reaches divinity. There's a lot of different texts, because the actual original Bible was written in Aramaic, and men have translated that into very many different ways. So there's just a whole bunch. King James Version is different from, also they removed some texts, like the Enochian Bible has the Gospel of Judas in it. which is not in the King James Version of the Bible. So I really wanted to do some research. It always really resonated with me that if God wasn't a woman, that there was also a woman god or a goddess, that maybe there was dual gods, a god, a goddess, because even in our plant life, there's male and female, and we women are the creatrixes of the universe. I mean, we actually carry life within us. So telling me that I'm the cause of everybody's sin because I'm a woman and I'm inherently, that just never resonated with me at all. And so through all of this different research, I found out that there were very old gods worshipped, and that you could find them easily. And, you know, polytheism, which is a belief in more than one god, still occurs in some world religions. Hinduism, you know, the Buddhists, they have different phases of the Buddha. And Kuan Yin is a Chinese goddess. So really, I felt most connected to whatever the divine is by being outside in nature. And that's where I felt most in tune and happy and felt spiritually fulfilled. So I really that's how I discovered paganism. There's different pantheons and different, a pantheon is like a group of gods. So in Catholicism, for example, they have the different archetypes. Like you could pray to a certain saint to find something that's lost. And that's basically what paganism is. It's taking all the different gods and goddesses that have ever existed and being able to use your tiny human brain to access that grand divine. Like, oh, I'm looking for love in my life. I'm going to pray to Aphrodite because Aphrodite is a part of that greater thing. Whatever that is. God, goddess, the gods, both. And that's just always really, I wanted to explain that because it was funny to me the way it was edited on the show. And it's just like, so I'm a pagan witch. And it doesn't really say anything about what that means or how I came to that. I had a very unusual childhood. How many children do you know that aren't the child of a pastor that just get to run amok through an old church and explore all those texts and read them? And like, I really got to know that religion, and I love listening to people and how they reach divinity in general. So like the other day, I just invited some Baptists into the house and we had a nice conversation all about our different religions. And one of them was actually, she was raised Muslim and she never connected that way. So then she read the Bible and that resonated for her, and that felt, and I was like, that's so cool. I also believe in reincarnation, and reincarnation is one of a more common belief system in paganism. I believe in reincarnation because there are absolutely people that I've met that I know before. And also, this is really interesting. I'll tell you this. So Aradia, when she was a baby, and I was still married to Manny, who is my first husband, she wasn't a baby. She was like 4, but that's, you know, my baby. So she was 4 years old, and she said to me and her dad, Manny, she goes, when do I get to meet my brother? And I'm like, you're not going to have a brother. You have a little sister. This is it. We're done. And she goes, no, not from this dad, from the other dad. And I was like, girl, what are you talking about? Because, you know, and Manny laughed it off. Well, when Chris and I started dating after Manny and I had broken up, and Chris already had a son, and Manny actually said to me, he was like, do you think that's the brother she was talking about? And then lo and behold, later, like few years later, 4 years later, she actually has a little brother by a different dad. So I think children are tapped into things. And I think that I definitely believe in reincarnation. That's something I believe in. So I don't fear for my eternal damnation. I kind of believe like that the earth is the soul's playground to touch to feel and explore all of the five senses completely. Touch, scent, sight, taste, to feel great emotion. I think that if you're a good person, I think you go on until you reach enlightenment. I think that if you're a bad person, like a Hitler, for example, you're probably a rock for hundreds of years. I think you're stuck for a while. And I think that every soul continues on over and over and over again and grows. We say something in paganism, we say once a witch, always a witch. And I really truly believe that, because when I was 12 and I started exploring things, I already knew what I was syncing up with. And that wasn't anything that my family showed me. That wasn't anything that any of my friends showed me. For a very long time, I was like in high school and everything, called in the broom closet. It meant I wasn't like very open. I did tell people what I believed, but a lot of people were not trying to hear that. Like immediately people are like, oh my God, are you a Satanist? And I'm like, no, actually Satan is a Christian concept. So I am not a Satanist, but I can tell you exactly what I believe in a very long statement if you would like to hear it. And, I totally, like I said, whatever works for people, that is what works for me. I believe it. Now you can be, I would say I'm more of a religious witch than a magical practitioner. I have done spells and spell working, but I believe when I pray that the gods and goddesses are listening, or God is listening through the line, however that works. So I'm less of a spellcaster, for example. There are magicians and people that practice alchemy and magic, and they aren't necessarily, I think that you have to be in the religion, but you don't have to be, I don't have to do magic for me to be a pagan. I'm a pagan because that's what I believe. That's how I live my life. It's what I've grown to understand. Let's see. I think we're all born enlightened. And then I'm going to go take some questions now, because I think that was a good synopsis of how I became, maybe not, but does magic actually work? Totally. Magic works if you believe it. It's, perhaps mental power, perhaps the incense you burn on the right moon cycle, while being in the right time of year, has a lot to do with it. A lot of astrology, things like that. But absolutely it works. Am I a Democrat? Well, that really doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about. I was an independent up until President Obama was running, and then I signed up to be a Democrat so that I could vote for him. So I guess technically, but I consider myself more of a independent. I don't really like the party lines. I think that there's bad and good on both sides, but not when there's real bad, because that is very bad. How's Chris? He's playing a video game. He's good. I'm sure that he'll appreciate that you asked about him. Chris and I also, it's cool that I've found partners that have the same religion as me, so that we've been able to bring our kids up that way, because it is kind of different or alternative. But it makes sense to me and to them when doing the research. So let's see. Do pagan gods have a physical manifestation? That's very cool. Good question. I would say that, so in Voodoo or Santeria, the practitioners actually believe that the gods are coming into their bodies. And I have seen some of those ceremonies and I don't necessarily disagree. So I guess the physical manifestation would be possessing somebody else, but called to. Just, let's see, how am I raising the kids religion wise? I let the kids pick and choose whatever they want. I ask often, like, do they want to explore this or that, but they seem to so far be more interested in Minecraft. I don't know why I was so obsessed with finding the roots of religion when I was 12 and ever after. It's really just always been something that I've been drawn to, that I've been called to, but I definitely don't force that on the kids. Happy birthday, Drew, turning 19. What do I believe my life lesson is in this time? Oh, certainly there are many. Many that I have to relearn and relearn and relearn again. And hopefully I'll get them right. I would say a big one is to believe in myself. I think that I self-sabotage a lot in general. I think that it's probably got to do with a feeling of that a lot of people have, which is like, I can't believe this is actually happening to me. Do I even deserve this, really? In a good way, though, like, so that it's just, you get so in your head, you just kind of mess it up. And I think that's one of my lessons that I'll probably have to keep repeating for however long. Hopefully I'll get it. I think a mistake is not a mistake if you learn from it, then it is a lesson, but it's a mistake if you keep doing it. So far, at 35, though, things are going pretty good, I would say. Let's see. Summer and winter solstice. Yes. The celebrations of the solstices, the equinoxes. There is, so the beginning of the year is the Witch's New Year, which is Samhain, which you all probably know as Halloween or All Saints' Day. It's when the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest. It is the midpoint between the autumnal equinox and winter solstice. Winter solstice is beautiful. You may know it as, well, it was taken to be Christmas. It is also the sun god's rebirth. So in the Wiccan religion, which is, I guess, a good, it's a newer version of paganism. There's a goddess and her consort, the god. So the goddess and God, they're together. The god is sacrificed for the fields and the, what is the, you know, when the harvest, for the harvest. Thank you. He didn't say that. I just came up with it. But sometimes when I ask, it just reminds me. So sacrifice for the harvest, for the abundance of the earth. See that whole same kind of sacrifice thing that goes on in Christianity. I really, you know, digressing, going back, I really believe that if it is a constant in every religion, then that is what has truth. So there was definitely a flood story that's in Greek mythology, that's in the Christian religion, the Jewish religion. It's in, I believe, some other religions too. What's that? Norse religion. So that there probably was like major floods. You know, there's some sort of Messiah or prophet that comes in a lot of different religions to help the people. Prometheus in Greek mythology came to give everybody fire and show them the way. And, you know, Jesus came to be God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son to save the sins of the people. There are a lot of constants in a lot of different religions, and that's because the stories, like I explained, when they would take over, they would take some of those different stories and they would change them and say, oh, well, this is our story now. Remember, your God is bad. Your God is the devil, or whatever. Gosh, I can't think of the one goddess's name that's she really got done dirty. But the Egyptian gods, there's different theories that, like, that time in the Bible where Jesus disappears and, you know, from the Bible, like, I don't think he comes back until he's like 30. There are theories that he actually went to Egypt to study with the Egyptian priests that understood magic and miracles. And there's an even more out there theory that the Egyptians came from Atlantis. And the Atlanteans actually had all the magic, had crystals, had computers, had everything. And the Atlanteans got too full of themselves and created a big bomb or something in one of their computers, and Atlantis sank, and those people went to Egypt. And that is where Jesus went to then go learn. There were sacred, so the high priestesses back in the day were the teachers. Before, this is predating Christianity, they would send their sons, their princes, and their princesses to these priestess. I don't know if it was really an island, but they would send them there to learn the ways of the sacred divine feminine energy. And they would serve these high priestesses that would also probably teach them some other, let's see, is football still in here? Football still in here, Shay? Or sex? They might teach them sex. Hopefully she's not in there. If I get in trouble for saying that, I'm sorry. Yes, the Library of Alexandria was burned, which had a lot of information, and how tragic it is. I do believe that the Vatican has a lot of information, which I would love to get my hands on. Of course, I won't be able to, probably. I don't think they'll be inviting me in, but, like, damn, if I wouldn't love to read some of those ancient texts, for sure. My astrological sign is Cancer. Are Wicca and paganism the same thing, or is Wicca different? Wicca is a sect of paganism, like Catholicism, Baptist, Lutheran is a sect of Christianity. Paganism is a polytheistic religion, earth religion. Oh, and pagan also means field person. So it was the religion of the people out there working. Oh, thanks for joining. So it was the field. So the holidays are done around different harvests and reaping and sowing and planting and those earth connected things. Also, the Native American religions are considered pagan. So like I said, a belief in polytheism, having multiple gods, or being able to reach the one divine God through those archetypes, and also a connectivity of the earth worship, having your church outside, all of that. Yes, the crab is, yes, I'm a Cancer, see? Not a 69. It's my Cancer symbol. Although a lot of people ask me that. Is it acceptable to be pagan for the fun activities and lifestyle without actually believing in it?
Sure.
Sure, why not? I think that's what Burning Man's about. Oh my gosh. So now I'm going to open up for questions. And really, it could be about what I just talked about, or it could be about whatever you want to ask about. One of the shows I'm going to do, I think I'll probably do one about like with parenting advice or something like that, because my kids are awesome and they're cool. Let's see. Does your December 25th look the same as secular Christmas, or do you have a different tradition related to paganism? So that's a great question. Winter solstice, the original ways to celebrate are having a tree, a Christmas tree, a Yule tree, having the Yule log. Yule is actually winter solstice. So anything that you hear that's related to Yule, that's Yule. We celebrate, we do exchange gifts. We do the commercialism of Christmas. We celebrate that aspect of Christmas, the magic of Santa, all of that. We celebrate, but we also do things for solstice, like candles, go outside, pray. I don't really like the cold very much, though, to be 100% transparent. It's not my favorite, but let's see. Would Chris and I go on Amazing Race? I don't know. I guess maybe if we were asked, but like we have a lot of kids. I think the best thing for us to do is just like, I don't know, you know what we would do? We would have a show about our family, and that would be really cool. I think Native Americans were like pagans since they also worship the earth? Yes, Native Americans are pagans by the definition. And not necessarily. Yeah, they are pagans. I really love some of the Native American beliefs. I have gotten to do sweat lodges hosted by Lakota Sioux, by Navajo. It's really an amazing experience. So a sweat lodge is the womb of Mother Earth, and there's a pit dug out and lava rocks brought in, and it's completely pitch black. And the shaman who is leading, who is an actual Native American shaman, who learned from his elders how to do this, and you are in this dome of darkness, and the only real lights that you see are the sparkling of the lava rocks, which are the grandfathers and grandmothers, and they have they invite, all your prayers are heard in the sweat lodge because it's called the womb of Mother Earth. And that's really, there's songs sung and prayers made, and prayers for yourself, for the world, for the community, for your children. But it is thought that in the sweat lodge, your prayers are most likely to be heard. Let's see. I think you are beautiful. I am Nordic and Russian, so I think you are striking. Well, thank you. Nordic and Russian sounds gorgeous. Let's see. Are my kids baptized? No, they are not. They can they can choose to be baptized whenever they want. And I'll certainly show up if that's what they want. That's their choice. It's a consent thing. I wouldn't want to do that to them. They can totally do that on their own, though, and I'll totally be there and support. I really, just because this is my way to connect with the divine doesn't mean it's anybody else's way. And in paganism, and we have a saying, all gods, one God, all goddess, one goddess. And that means that it's all paths to the same point. It's all, you eventually meet your maker. Maybe you come back to the world and try it again, or maybe you don't. You know, I mean, I'm not sitting here saying I have the answers for anybody else. These are the answers that resonate most with me, if that makes sense. Let's see. CBS give the Hive their own show. How cool would that be? I would love that. That would be so fun. Maybe we could even include Steve and, you know, Swaggy, of course. He's like a Hive member. I love you, Rockstar. Oh, I love you too. Thank you. What are the worst misconceptions I've heard about paganism? Devil worship, killing babies or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's just like, there's a lot of people that when I do tell people, which isn't normally the first thing I say to people, hey, I'm a witch. It's not like it's involved in later on. I bring it up and let people know if we're talking religion, which, you know, you don't really talk religion with everybody. So, but I've had people stare me stone cold in the face and go, oh, so like you worship the devil. And I'm like, girl or boy or whoever, do I seem like a Satanist? I will say that actually, I don't know if this is me digging myself into a hole. I am not a Satanist. However, true Satanism is belief that you are your own God. They do not worship Lucifer. They worship themselves. That's based on, what is that guy's name? Anton? I can't remember who founded the Church of Satanism, but that's really what it was about. It was trolling the Christian church, basically. So let's see. The new Sabrina show is full of misinformation. Absolutely it is. Funny, cute, not a good source to go to if you want to know anything for real about paganism. Let's see. Have I heard of sequester? Vaguely. I vaguely heard of sequester, and I'm thinking I'm going to check it out because it seems very interesting. Book or documentary recommendations. Let's get to that. Okay, let's see. What do I have readily available? All right, well, I can always recommend Wicca by Scott Cunningham is a great beginner book if you're interested in earth religion. Starhawk, Spiral Dance. As you can see, this book is well-loved and well-worn. This is a great, great book. Where is Drawing Down the... No. I have a whole bookshelf of books. I love to read, and I love knowledge. So there's also Drawing Down the Moon by Margaret Adler, and that's an incredible book. Then once you get into different things, there's books like this, Which is Goddess, Which is God. This is by the Farrars. This is just a book of different gods and goddesses. So it's two books, actually, Which is God, Which is Goddess. If you were interested in some fiction reading, The Mists of Avalon is a really good book. A lot of us believe that it's close to what it might have been like for the witches back in the Arthurian times. Let's see. Oh, that's nice. If you ever go on Big Brother and they ask your favorite house guest, you'll say me. That's good. Just, you know, play a different game or a better game. Oh my gosh. Buffy was the first introduction of Wicca. Yeah, now Willow, I mean, of course, that definitely had a Hollywood air about it, but that was more like Wicca than, that was a good representation in a Hollywood way. Okay, let's see. Basic question. How has my life changed since Big Brother? I got a webcam and people are tuning in to watch me on YouTube Live, so that's different. Not a lot is different. It's just that people will come up to me when we're shopping or whatever, and they'll be like, oh my God, are you Rockstar? And I'm like, yeah. And that's about it. And now people are calling me Rockstar, not Angela Rockstar. So that's different. A Circle Within. It is a great book. That is a good book. Yes. Can I say hi to Destiny? Sure. Hey, Destiny. How's it going? Let's see. How do I think I would do on Survivor? I don't know.
Horrible.
Horrible. Chris says horrible from his couch. I don't know what reality show I'd actually be good at. I don't know, The Housewives or something. I don't know. I like, maybe MTV will call. I feel like I would fit in with those people. What's on my Netflix? Always The Magicians. I'm a Ravenclaw, by the way. Their poop emoji. Can't really believe I just said that. Was I surprised that Haley was the runner-up for America's Favorite? No. Everybody should love Haley. Haley is great. Haley literally sprinkles fairy dust as she walks. Let's see. Hi, Sydney. That'll make your day. So hello. I'm going to go up and see. Am I a tranny? No. And actually, transgender is what we say nowadays. I did have natural vaginal birth to 3 children. So that's a no. But great question. Great question. Actually, when I used to go out to the ball scene, which could be a whole nother show, I was the only white person at the balls and the only female born a female. And guys, like weird guys would come up and they would be like, "Are you a dude?" And I'd be like, "Yes." Because I didn't want to be messed with. I was just trying to, you know, have fun at the ball. Like, I wasn't there to pick up guys at all. So anyway, great segue from a would-be troll that, you know, obviously isn't very good at trolling.
Their time watching your video.
Right. Trolling, spending time watching this.
Thanks.
Appreciate you tuning in. Let's see. Who did you and the rest of the jury think would win America's Favorite? I don't know. I kind of thought Bae might have won America's Favorite. I didn't know if... I mean, I'll just put my name out there. I didn't know if people would be like, wow, that mom is really fighting hard for her kids. I'm going to vote for her because that's why she went on this crazy show. But anyway. There's no jury tea. We all really kind of kept to ourselves a bit, like, because that was amazing to be able to do after being on top of each other for, you know, 24 hours a day. So we hung out. We would make dinner together. I cooked for people. I refused to cook for people in the Big Brother house because that was not going to be my strategy. I wasn't momming a bunch of adults. That was not what I was going to do. But I cooked for the people in the jury house because I actually love to cook and I do love to feed people. I just wasn't going to do it strategically. Let's see. Do I ever miss living in the house? What do I miss most? I miss that the storage room would fill up with groceries and that they would just be there. It would just be like, oh my God, the groceries are refilled. I used to joke about that. I would be like, I'm going to go home. And Chris is going to be like, you need to go to the store. And I'm going to be like, the storage room fills up on Tuesday. Okay, chill. So that's what I miss most. Let's see. Yes, oh my God, I would love to be a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't know what kind of petition we can sign or make to have that happen, or for me to just even be in the audience, man. I love RuPaul's Drag Race. I've watched that since season 1, and I'm sure that we'll talk about that on one of these shows again, for sure. I am excited for All Stars 4. Favorite movie of all time? My favorite movie of all time is The Fifth Element. If you haven't seen it, it's actually still relevant. An older movie, but still really, really good. Great comedic moments. It's a farce. That means when one door closes, another door opens. So that's really great. And high fashion. Really high fashion. Like, those outfits, though. Really good. Ready for Manila and Valentina to slay. Yeah, I believe that they'll do good, but I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm here for Latrice Royale for sure. What is the best advice I have for a future house guest auditioning for Big Brother 21? Be yourself. Be yourself. Don't be the best version of yourself. Don't be a mediocre version of anybody else. I remember them saying, we've never met anyone like you before. And I was like, well, there must be like 1,000 of me out here. This is California. Y'all are weird. But apparently there's not. So be yourself. That's what it's, you just be yourself. Be unapologetically you, whoever you are. And then once you get into the house, if you want to pretend to be somebody else or play a character or whatever you think is best for your game. But getting on the show, be who you are. Speak your truth. Stand in it. Believe in it. And believe in yourself. Would I go back in the house if asked? I would love to host the competition. I don't know that. I mean, I would have to talk to my family about that. It's a lot to leave children, like a lot, but it's a lot of money too. So I don't know. I think that nope. Chris says nope. Nope, I would not. Let's see. Would Chris be a Big Brother player? Absolutely not. That would be terrible. That's a horrible idea. Let's see. Favorite Big Brother player from any season, either celebrity, regular, or OT? Janelle. Hands down, Janelle. That's a bad bitch, man. She's awesome. So cool. Pretty, smart, funny, just good at competitions. Just seemed like somebody I would really like to hang out with in life. Do I do the tarot? I do. My favorite form of divination, which is using your skills to see the future. I have a lot of different tarot decks, and I work with the tarot pretty often, but my favorite thing to use is my pendulum. And I wish that I would have brought it down here. It's upstairs in my room, but it always works. I knew that I was going to get cast on Big Brother. I didn't ask if I was going to win or not. Do Caitlin and I believe in a lot of the same things? On paper, certainly. On paper. Did I fangirl when I met Dr. Will? Yes, he is hot. Oh my God. Silver Fox. Chris says it's time to end the show. Dr. Will is fine. But I mean, you know, I'm very happy. Your friend does the pendulum and it's always wrong. Oh, I don't know what to say. Maybe need to reset it. Let's see. So I want to talk about, I'll talk about this because it's right here real quick. This is selenite, and selenite's actually not that expensive. This is a nice piece of selenite. This is my selenite egg. But selenite is a clearing crystal, and it's good for any of your crystals, but it's also good for yourself. So if you're really feeling like you're just in a funk or whatever, get yourself a piece of selenite and just kind of sit there and be with it. And it really clears you. I look like I lost a lot of weight. Let me just go ahead and address that, even though I feel like I have. I am a smaller person, just in general. I was very much embracing and loving my thicker body, but that was my, I had just stopped breastfeeding, right? As soon as I went into the Big Brother house, I like weaned myself off right and switched Isaac over to formula. So my belly button wasn't even pushed back in. It was still, I still had my mother's line. I hadn't lost any of my baby weight. So that's why I was thicker. I didn't really lose a lot of weight. I lost my pregnancy weight. I really, like I said, I really loved my body. I loved my ass especially. That was fantastic. But when it comes to clothes and stuff, I'm a smaller kind of person. You love selenite. Fantastic, Stephanie. Good, good. Let's see. Yeah, and also just back to the weight thing. Each child that I've had, by the time the baby is 1 year old, I've been back to my pre-pregnancy weight. So it's not to do with the Big Brother house. And I knew that would happen. I just didn't know exactly when. So guys, yeah, I loved it. I loved my body. We are at an hour, and I'm going to make this an hour show. So I hope this was good for you. This was a, learning experience for me. This is my first time I've done this, and I'm just so excited that you've tuned in. I'm going to try to figure out how to save this and maybe edit it, or maybe it'll just disappear. Who really knows? No, it says an hour and 56. Where are you? Oh, I guess I do. I don't know why it's telling me I've been on for an hour. You know what? I'm going to stay here for the last 4 minutes and just keep talking. Next week, we're going to talk cheerleading. We're going to talk me growing up. We're going to talk some of the wild parties that I've thrown, how I met my best friend who is a gay Black man in America. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about all sorts of wonderful things. And thank you for tuning in, both. And I hope to see you next week. I hope you hit the subscribe button. And I really love you guys. I really appreciate all the support. Blessed be. Do, 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 do. Burr, 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 burr.